Now, any horror stories related to fans of Leatherface approaching you?
Horror stories? No, actually, we Gunnar and I have been talking about this lately. Just the whole concept of horror. It's remarkable how nice horror fans are, and it's my thesis that whatever it is that causes the human being to enjoy horror as entertainment, it requires a level of human empathy that only really nice people have. And so horror fans are just the nicest people you'll ever meet.
All right. How did you, I'm sure you get this asked all the time, how did you get the part of Leatherface?
Carl Mazzacone, the producer, and I became friends. We both ended up helping a mutual friend work on a project he had. And so we ended up working for free on a little project, and I was building sets and doing everything I could for the guy, and Carl was there, doing his producer magic, and we realized that we just enjoyed doing all the same things, so we started hanging out, and it was at that time he was actually working on securing the rights for Texas Chainsaw. And he showed me the script in early development, and I read it and I loved it. And it wasn't until we were sitting in a cigar bar with an acting coach of mine who was also a mutual friend of Carl's, who said to Carl just out of the blue, "You know who'd make a good Leatherface?" And he says, "No." And he says, "Dan." And neither of us had even thought of that. And so that was the germ of it. And then Carl, he's a bit of a Svengali, I think, because he just kind of moves things around and makes them happen. He invited me to his Christmas party, and he also invited the director. And he didn't introduce us. He just put us in the same room together. And the director actually wrote an article for the Huffington Post where he describes, he was standing there talking to Mark Berg from Twisted Pictures, and he kept looking over Mark's shoulder. And I was standing on the other side of the room. I'm a bit of a severe person, I guess. I don't smile easily, I scare people naturally. And he said to Mark, "I think I'm looking at Leatherface." And that's how it happened. A week later, we sat down and talked about it. We found, all sorts of interesting mutual observations about it, and it went on from there.
Awesome. Now,
typical Hollywood story.
Typical Hollywood story. Cinderella story. Leatherface Cinderella story. That'll be the 21st century of a Cinderella story. Yeah. Will be the Leatherface. Now, while I have you, who do you think would win in a chainsaw duel between all the Leatherfaces?
Let's see. I think I could take them all out except Gunnar, and then I would fall on my own saw.
That's a safe bet.
Because this is the father, the god. Yes, he's the source of everything I did in this movie. I admitted to him on set that I ripped him off as mercilessly as I could. I mean, he did all the creative work, and I had a little bit of development to do in the character, but it's him, it's his character, and I wanted to pay respect to that. I mean, he and Toby Hooper and Kim Henkel, I mean, they created something that we haven't seen, I wanted to respect that.
That's awesome. Now, any upcoming special events, projects, anything you'd like to promote?
Developing my own screenplay. There are a couple of movies that are, kind of circling. Nothing really, gelled yet. It's such a pain in the neck trying to make movies, but it's the best thing in the world too at the same time. So that's why we keep doing it. Yeah, it's unfortunately premature. Got a few more conventions lined up this year, but we'll see. I'm excited for the future. This is Dan Yeager, Leatherface. I love Ravenous Monster.